Hello viewers, this is Major General Neelendra Kumar in conversation with Justice BA Khan. My next question to him is that before he became a judge and before his law practice, he had been a law teacher for 6 years. Now 6 years is a considerable time. So my question to you is, what is your memory of that phase of your life when you were a law teacher in the company of young students? And thereafter, what is your impression about law teaching in India?
General Sahab, that stint was not of my own seeking or choice. It was as a result of a compulsion. When I joined the bar, which you call the law practice, that law practice for every beginner lawyer has a gestation period of at least 5 to 10 years. For 5 to 10 years, if this fellow survives,
yes,
then he continues in the practice. But during this period, if he crumbles,
then that's the end of it.
Then that is the end of it. And your survival rate is very, very minimal in surviving. So when I joined the bar, it used to be idling away the time. You go there and sit there and do nothing and come back in the evening, earn nothing, and you didn't have anything to meet both your ends meet. So I got frustrated, and one of my colleagues, he's a topmost lawyer in Kashmir now, we both decided to quit.
To quit?
Quit, yeah, out of frustration. During that process, we thought it would be a better thing if we consult the sitting judge of the High Court. In charge was one Mufti Bahauddin. He used to be a very encouraging.
You sought his advice.
We met him and told him that this is this, this is this. And the legal practice was dominated by a particular class of people who used to be, in our estimation, because we were fresh law graduates, who used to be just going by their mannerism rather than any law, soundness of any law or something. So we told him we tried this thing and it's not working out, sir, we are quitting. And we can't run our families also, we can't do anything, there is no work to do. So. But he advised us, he said, don't do this. I know that you guys have some potential and this is going to be a loss to the legal community. You stay on, I'll make some standby provision for you.
Okay.
So he was he was in the board of studies of the university.
Right.
So he talked to the vice chancellor and he said, I am sending you two young lawyers, and they will lecture there as guest lecturers. So we went and joined that law faculty.
So it was as a sort of
support to sustain in the legal practice.
Okay.
Now what happened is I had a passion for teaching otherwise also, and we proved more than up to the expectations as against those regularly appointed law teachers which they.
So you were liked and respected by the students.
Now students would love us. And in fact, they would also give us some name. For example, I was teaching transfer of property act.
Okay.
They would call me by that nickname, so and so TPA, so and so TPA.
Okay.
And those 6 years we enjoyed. We felt young.
You enjoyed, yes. You were in the young.
In the company of the students.
But how do you look at the law sort of teaching?
Yes. Law teaching, General Sahab, in the law school those days. Today it's different because I will also tell you, for legal education we had to work a lot to bring it to some level. Now those days it was just a formality of getting a certificate of a...
So you find that there has been a sea change?
A lot of change.
Ji.
And those days, students would also come to just spend their day under the trees and gossiping and all that. And nobody would be serious in knowing. Third, the syllabus of the law teaching that time was totally distant from the requirements of a legal practice.
Okay.
In the sense that if you, whatever you taught there, be that Transfer of Property Act, be that Constitution, be that Civil Procedure Code and all that stuff, when the student after getting the degree would come to the court premises, it would be of no use to him.
He found that it's
because he would never get a case of Constitution. Where will he get a case of Constitution while entering? Similarly, a transfer of property, or for that any subject. Nor was there any emphasis on his writing a pleading. Writing a pleading was in the hands of a class called petition writers. And in our language, we used to call them arais navis.
Okay.
Now, those petition writers would scribble something here and there when a petitioner would come to them, a litigant would come to them. Now, you couldn't read that, nor could the judge inside the court read that. Lawyers would not draft their pleadings. So, there was no provision even in the law school to tell them or to teach them how to draft a convincing or this thing and so on. That was another difficulty. So, these law students which we used to produce, or for that matter any university at that time used to produce, were strangers in the law practice.
Yes, they found it very difficult to adjust and settle down.
Yes. So, with that, those years of teaching, we enjoyed as imparting. But on the receiving end, we would find that it didn't make any impact at all.
There was a handicap.
There was a class of students who would be impressed by the teaching method which we would adopt. And they would remember things, but it was of no use in the... Now, you asked about then, is this a difference now?
Yes.
John Sahib, you will remember that legal education was in such a bad condition. If you remember the time when Justice Ahmedi took over as Chief Justice of India. And the first priority, I considered that Justice Ahmedi's contribution was, as against any Chief Justice, to...
Significant.
Yes, significant contribution was to upgrade the legal education.
The standard of legal education.
This 5-year course and other things which you find today, it was that time conceived. And there was a lot of debate, and Justice Venkatachalaya was there, and Justice Ahmedi was there. Bangalore Law College was the first to be established.
Madhav
Menon was the first.
Yes.
Madhav Menon was later our director in the Judicial Academy.
Quite right, at Bhopal.
I will give you that anecdote also.
Okay, we'll come to that.
But what I am saying is that this legal education which you find today and which is really professional, our that time argument was that when a doctor undergoes 5 years course, an engineering student goes 5-year course, professional course, make law a professional course, so that this student has no other option but to take to law.
And they decide early.
Otherwise, they would take a degree and then go into some service or go into some business and consider themselves only LLBs and all that. So I feel satisfied today that in legal education we have done well, and our standards of legal education have far improved, and it is more professional today, more vocational today. You will find today's law student is drafting agreements for the companies. Today's law student is appearing in the Supreme Court direct and making an impact. And I have seen many of the Bangalore students appearing before me. And I would love to hear them as against any senior lawyer in the bar. So that thing has improved a lot here.
Thank you. Stay with us. This conversation with Justice BA Khan will continue.